Hey everyone, Star Wars Gazer here, coming at you with another video. You know, I've been going kind of through things since I've come back from my, let's call it a sabbatical. And one of the things I realized is I have some interviews that I've done with some people that I've never gotten to post. And so I wanted to go back, re-edit these, and throw these out there for you. Now, these interviews are from Rebel Scum Con, which is coming up here in August 6th to the 10th in Frisco, Texas. If you don't have your tickets, go now, go get them. Go to rebelscumcon.com and get your tickets. This first interview is one that is very timely as we are getting ready to enjoy the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. This is Emily Swallow, the Armorer, at Rebel Scum Con 2025. I hope you guys enjoy and stay tuned for more interviews from Rebel Scum Con 2025. Without further ado, here's Emily. Hey everyone, Star Wars Gazer here. I am with the legendary Emily Swallow, who plays the Armorer. Emily, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for being here. It's been a good weekend, hasn't it?
It has. Have you been enjoying yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like I'm at an epic slumber party because I'm so sleep deprived, but I'm so giddy.
Yes.
And I just can't stop talking to everybody.
Right.
And it's so much fun, and I know I'm going to crash so hard.
Oh, 100%. I'm right there with you. I love conventions. I love conventions in general, but especially like Star Wars conventions. Just there's something about it that's just special, isn't there? So, just want to ask you a few questions here.
Okay.
Talk us about your journey getting into Star Wars. One, where your love of Star Wars came in, and then two, being able to play the Armorer, like where all that began.
Well, my gateway drug to Star Wars was the Ewoks, because I was like 3 or 4, I think, when Return of the Jedi came out.
Okay.
And so cute little cuddly creatures were my jam.
Absolutely.
So I didn't really understand much about the greater message of Star Wars, but I knew I liked the Ewoks.
Yes.
And then I saw all the movies growing up, and I enjoyed it, but I'd never seen any of the animated series or anything. And I got involved with acting in it just because it was one of the things I happened to audition for. There was no trying to be a part of it. I just got extraordinarily lucky because you audition a lot as an actor, and mostly you just get rejected.
Yeah.
And I just had this audition that, it was one of the few parts I think that they even auditioned for, because John and Dave already had so many people that they had in mind for different roles. And I got this very mysterious set of material that they said was maybe something to do with Star Wars. But of course, there's no script. I had nothing to connect to.
Yeah.
I just knew she was the leader, a Zen-like leader of a group of people.
Okay.
And that you would never see her face.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I went to the audition that was just with the casting director. There was nobody else in the room. And then a few weeks later, I got a call saying, they want to use you. It is Star Wars. They don't really know what they're going to do with this character. But do you want to be a part of it? And I was like, well, yeah.
Well, it's Star Wars, of course, right?
Yeah. I mean, come on. And it's definitely, at that point, it was the most mysterious thing I'd ever been a part of. So every little bit of information that I got as I started prepping for the role and then seeing the costume and everything, it was like being in Candyland. It was so exciting to see all those details.
So what was that audition like then? Because like you said, you have no idea. You have no script. You have nothing. So like, what are you doing in the audition to audition for this?
Well, they gave me material, but there was no script to read. So I had a couple of scenes.
Yeah. Okay.
But there was nothing identifiable in them that would make me think it had anything to do with Mandalorians. I know I said this is the way.
Okay.
I feel like I remember that one of the scenes was very similar to the scene in season 1 when she breaks up the fight between Paz Vizsla and Din.
Yes.
And I did it a couple times, and then the casting director asked me to do it with a British dialect because they'd mostly been seeing British actors for the role.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I have played many British characters, and so I had that in my back pocket. And then when I finally got to talk to John about prepping for the role, he said, I think we want to keep that because it kind of sets her apart.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of British-ish. Like it's a little vague.
Yeah.
But I do think that it distinguishes her from everyone else in a way that's really helpful.
Yes, because especially with the Mandalorians, you're wearing a mask, you're wearing armor. Like each one has to have their own distinguishable attribute, right? What was it like seeing the armor for the first time when they brought out the helmet and all that?
It was incredible. Because I went in to do a fitting, but they were like making a cast of my torso, and they said they were making some sort of armor, but they didn't realize when I got there that I'd never seen it. So everyone's talking to me as if I knew what they were doing. And then at some point somebody said, "Oh, would you like to see a picture of it?" And I said, "Yes."
Yeah, that'd be great.
And it just took my breath away.
Yeah.
I mean, she's incredible.
Yeah, it almost looks like when I look at your armor, it looks like a Norse, like Viking type feel.
Yeah,
you know,
it has that feel for sure.
It does. It does. So, being able to do this, what has been one of your favorite scenes or parts to act out? Do you have a favorite?
I do, and it usually surprises people because it's not like one of the big battle scenes. But I really love the scene in season 3 when the armorer asks Bo to take off her helmet, because I think it's such a turning point for them both.
Yeah.
And at that point, they don't know if they can trust each other.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of tension because neither really knows what's going to happen. It's a pretty subtle scene, but there's so much riding on it.
Yeah.
And Katie and I had talked a lot about, you know, everything building up to it and what it meant. And we tried to get information from John and Dave about like whether those characters had a history. We were like, oh yeah, maybe they knew each other back on Mandalore.
Yeah.
We had this whole storyline, and we pitched it to Dave, and he was like, no, they didn't know each other.
Oh, dang
And that's
it.
all he said.
Right? So you got to work with some really cool people. Obviously,
Yeah.
Katie. You got to work with Pedro and Brendan Wayne as well.
Yes.
What was it like working with those guys? So I'll be honest. So ICCC Con in Nashville, I got Brendan Wayne was there. And it didn't click with my brain that he's the grandson of John Wayne, the legend. So what was that like working with all those guys?
Brendan is one of the most generous and hardworking actors I've ever met, especially because at first nobody knew that he was Din Djarin, and they kind of wanted to keep it a secret. And I'm glad they've been more open about it, because he just gives his heart and soul, and it didn't matter to him that he would not be associated as much as Pedro with the character. He loves what he does. He works really hard, and he said that his mom, so his John Wayne was his grandfather on his mom's side.
Yeah.
And when he wanted to get into acting, his mom said, okay, but you're gonna really learn the craft. You're gonna learn how to be useful. You're not just gonna try to like ride on your grandfather's coattails.
100%, yeah.
And he is such a hardworking guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's my Din Djarin because he's the one that I work with mostly.
Yeah.
And he puts so much consideration into it. He's so thoughtful about it. He cares so deeply about it.
Yeah.
And he just elevates everyone around him.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And you can see it like too, like the way he walks. Like now that I know who that is, and when I watch The Mandalorian, I'm like, that is John Wayne, man.
Absolutely.
The way he walks is that strut that John Wayne had. So question off topic of your show, The Mandalorian. What is your favorite Star Wars movie overall?
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, some of it's just a feeling.
Yeah.
I think maybe because it was the first one I saw, because I think I saw that before A New Hope.
Okay.
I always try to articulate why, but I think it just comes down to a feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why, like, for me, like, The Phantom Menace holds a special place. That was the first one I ever saw in theaters.
Okay.
First movie, period, I ever saw in theaters. I was 5 when it came out. So it's like, for me, that one's, like, nostalgic. It sounds like the same kind of for you.
Yeah.
The Ewoks, right? Kind of that same thing. Last question for you. I really appreciate this. What does Star Wars mean to you?
Star Wars to me is, I think the most special thing about it is community and chosen family. Because I think even though it's epic and it's, in outer space and there's these huge battles, ultimately I think what we all connect to is these unlikely allies that come together.
Yeah.
Often people who don't like each other or get really annoyed by each other, or people who don't think that they're capable of doing more. And they join together either against a common foe or for a common good, and they discover things about themselves that they didn't know they were capable of, that they would never be able to do on their own.
Yeah.
And I think that all of us want that feeling of community. And even if we don't have a family that feels supportive, you know, by birth, we can find that. We can choose that.
Yes.
And that can be even more meaningful.
That is so good. That is so good. I know there's so many guys that I do YouTube stuff with that I consider family, right?
Yeah.
Like they're there, and I'm sure the same is for you with the Star Wars stuff. Like
Absolutely.
they're family, right?
Yeah.
So thank you so much again.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. It was really good to meet you.
It's a pleasure.
So I hope the rest of your weekend goes well. Are you here tomorrow as well?
Yes.
Awesome. Tell people where they can find you at, your social if you want.
Yeah, my Instagram is Big E Swalls. My TikTok, I think, is Official Emily Swallow, and I have a website that's also Official Emily Swallow that has like my convention schedule and stuff.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys.
you.
Don't forget, go check her out. Subscribe. Thanks, guys.
Another happy landing.
You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you.
He's no good to me.